Hello, girlies. Today I'm going to be talking about apartments, things that you need to avoid, things you need to look out for, things you need to do, things you need to um, have to prepare for apartments. And I'm going to be talking about alternatives, like things you could do if you don't have those things, because I know how hard it is to find a place. And especially in this housing crisis right now, like I feel like this video will help a lot of people because these are the tips and tricks and things that I've done to get through, have a place. Like as you can see, I have a place over my head. So I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help you because I know how it is to want help and seek for help, and like you feel lost, you feel stuck. So I'm gonna be that girl for you. And I really hope this video helps you or puts a smile on your face because looking for apartment is no joke. Like it's when you're searching for apartments, it's a hunt, guys. Like, and not only that, when you keep getting disapproved and they keep running down your credits, hard credit checks, and your credit keeps going down, it's extremely hard. So I'm just gonna be here as your sister, as that person to help you. Let's get straight into it. So I have my notebook here with me. So these are the things that I've learned when finding apartments, renting apartments, everything. Number one, see the place. Whether it's a virtual tour, make sure that you see the place and you know what it looks like. You can even take videos of the place or whatever. But make sure that you've seen the place and everything is up to date and there's no damages and etc. Because say you get approved, they could blame those damages on you if you don't have any evidence or anything. So just make sure that you have your photo proof, your photo evidence, okay? Okay, so the second thing on my list, you must ask questions. And I'm going to insert a video so you know what type of questions you could.
5 questions to ask during an apartment tour. What are the move-in fees? How long is the lease term? Are utilities included? And if not, what are the estimated utilities for an apartment of this size? How does maintenance work? Is it 24-hour on-call maintenance? Is there an online portal that I need to use? What are the restrictions on painting or making upgrades to the apartment?
But the questions that I usually ask is, are the utilities included? What is the neighborhood like? Because you have to know where you're living, you know what I mean? And another thing to add to that, make sure that you scope the neighborhood. If you're relocating cities and maybe province or anywhere, make sure that you get a feel of where you're going to be living, where you're going to be, because you don't want to live in an area that you're not going to like, especially if you have kids. You're not going to want to have your kids around those type of people or around that type of neighborhood. Very important. Anyways, guys, so yeah, make sure that you ask questions. It's very important and very crucial in your apartment hunting because it solves most of the answers that you might have, and it just it's just best for you to do it. Like just do it. Anyways, so we're gonna go on to credits, okay? Also, I forgot to mention when asking questions, you could even ask about the rental process, how it is, because not everyone's credit isn't like up, like not everyone's credit is in the 800s. Not everyone's credit is in the 700s. And so that's the main thing about finding apartments because say you're working job, you're making good money. It doesn't matter to them. They want to make sure that they look at your credit and they look at a lot of things, your background and everything, but mostly your credit because they want to make sure that you can make payments on time. And although you make all this money, they still it will be a hassle unless you offer to pay more, which has worked in the past. Paying more, an extra something, just to tell them like you're serious, you really want to secure the place, blah blah blah. So you can even say that too as well. Okay, so we're gonna be talking about credit. So when it comes to credit, they most apartments that I've seen they require a 650 and above credit score. And it sometimes life happens and your credit you lose your job, your credit fails, like you know what I mean? But make sure you buy a credit card. And I know my parents has always told me be careful of credit cards, but now that I'm an adult and I actually need to have my credit built, I need a credit card. So make sure you pay your payments on time, make sure that you're on track of everything, make sure that like you are working to build that credit up. Make sure that you watch videos on how to build credit, blah blah blah. Make sure that that's a must. And so we're going to be talking about scams. This is very important. Scammers are they're upgrading, they're getting smart, they're being they're acting a bit above and beyond when it comes to these apartment scams. And I almost fell for some of them, okay? These apartment scams are no joke. So I'm gonna actually do show you an example of an apartment scam. So right now you can see the 2 bed, 2 bath for 1,200. Now that is a very unrealistic price, especially in this economy. Usually those type of apartments go for 2,200 to 2,400 depending on where you are living in Ontario. So right away you can tell it's very suspicious. And then on the right you can see the person's profile, and in the description it kind of looks all over the place and everywhere, so it kind of gives off a scam like. But I also do want to show you guys more types of scams and what they usually look like, especially by the photos. Okay, so another thing that the scammers like to do, they like to make the price very unrealistic. So what I mean by that is that they will say a 2 bedroom for 1,100. Now, think about it. Canada having a 2 bedroom for 1,100. The average 2 bedroom in Canada is like 1,800 where I live. So it might be different other places, but 2,200, 2,300, 2,400. So a 2 bedroom for 1,800, I mean for 1,100 sounds ridiculous. So you will find those, and you know what I mean, but it's very important that you look at the price and especially the description, and yeah, when it comes to those scams, because these scammers are getting so creative. So I realized that a lot of people have realized that the apartment scams are getting out of pocket. Here are some messages that I found on Facebook Market regarding the situation. And yeah, a lot of people are realizing that like these scammers are getting out of pocket. I usually look when they make a Facebook account. So I know that like okay, they've been a current user on Facebook. I usually look at their background before, especially if you're looking at um private landlords or apartments on Facebook Market. These are the things that like I do. I look at the person's profile. I look at the description, how they explain the apartment. I look at the pictures. I want to make sure that like it actually looks like picture and it doesn't look photoshopped or blurred or anything like that, because certain things like that lets me know okay, they're definitely trying to scam or they're trying to do something. So yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna start it down below. I'm always everywhere when I talk, but so like I said, pay attention to photos. Make sure that it's looking like an apartment that someone's actually trying to sell. Another thing, if they send you their email, make sure that you catch on to how they're emailing you and stuff like that. So I went on Facebook Market because I was gonna make this video, but I wanted to show an example of this lady's trying to scam me. So I messaged her on Facebook Market and I told her, "What's the company of your management? Like, what's the name of your management?" I feel like she automatically knew what I was trying to do, and she blocked me. So that's when I knew it was an apartment scam. And also on her profile, it went from a white lady to an Asian lady. So I knew something was up, and maybe that lady's Facebook was hacked. Okay, so this is the other thing that I actually talked to my most recent video. Not wait, is it my recent video? I think it is. If it isn't, go look at the thing I'm gonna insert above right here. But in that video, I talk about reading rental applications. It is so important to read the rental applications, and also, in my opinion, if they ask for your social insurance number, don't give it to them. You don't give people like that your social insurance number unless it's your work or whatever. But don't do that, okay? Fill out the details that make sense. And if you're reading the application that says last deposit, make sure that there's like a it's going to be refunded back if you don't get approved. It's very important. So yeah, that is what's on my list. So now we're gonna go into another section of the video: how to find apartments if you don't have good credit. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, so say your credit is in the 500s and um you don't have the good credit. You may seem like not enough a perfect applicant like they want, blah blah blah, da da da, da, etc. So my tip for you, oh my gosh, there's something in my. So my tip for you is to look at these two apps: Facebook Market and Kijiji. Now, going back to the scam, I want you guys to be careful when looking for a sublease or maybe private landlords, because there are some scams on there that it's kind of so hard to not realize that it's a scam. So I just want you guys to be careful, okay? So Facebook Market and Kijiji are the two places that I've used to have a roof over my head, because it is so hard to find an apartment. And in the meantime of me building my credit and stuff, I found an alternative. So I would recommend subleasing, maybe a lease takeover if the management approves you or whatever. But subleasing until you build your credit, or finding a roommate. But I prefer subleasing because sometimes the apartment is a full apartment and you don't have any roommates and it's just you. And sometimes it's cheaper and you're able to build your credit and still save. So I recommend subleasing, and yeah, that would be a perfect thing for you to do. Okay, so now that you've subleased the place and you get approved by instance or whatever, make sure that you take pictures when you move in. Take pictures of the cupboard, and if it comes with furniture, take pictures of every inch of the apartment. Because although you're subleasing, doesn't mean the people are fully right in the head. Sometimes they will take advantage of cleaning up by the end of when you move out. I had this one person that did not check the apartment when I left, hired a cleaning lady, even though I sent her pictures of the clean unit. I took pictures of the unit showing that everything's clean, everything's good, what's damaged I replaced, blah blah blah. Made sure that I showed her everything. She hires the cleaning lady. The cleaning lady is trying to scam her by saying that the place is a mess. She doesn't know what to do, blah, 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 blah. I asked her, how are you going to listen to the cleaning lady when you didn't go in the place yourself to inspect everything, to have your own judgment? Do you believe the cleaning lady who has not really lived there and did not show you proof of when when I left? Or do you believe me who left the apartment, cleaned, showed you pictures, proof, replaced all the. So you have to do also a background check on those people. Make sure that they're sane in the head. Make sure that they're smart. Make sure that they're not the type of people to scam you, because there's people that will take advantage of you, especially because you're not living in those apartment management buildings, whatever. You're living in there, you're under there, you're the head tenant, and you're just like the subleaser, or you know what I mean. So it's always crucial, it's always important to make sure that you know who you're dealing with, because these people, it's all about money for most of these people. And for private landlords, it's all about money for them too, in my opinion, like from my experience. So you just want to really have a background check on them, ask them questions, make sure that you feel even safe to live under their house or under their place or unit or whatever. And another thing that I would like to mention as well, there are places that have prices under the market, like the regular market rates or whatever, but sometimes they're not really like, sometimes might not be like the best apartments, but there will be like an apartment. You know what I mean? Like there's this one apartment in Hamilton that was a 2 bedroom for 1,600. Not bad. The place looks big, nice, but it was in an area that was kind of like. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys are having an amazing day. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give me a thumbs up. Don't be watching it like that, okay? Give me a thumbs up because I love you and you love me, hopefully. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will be making more about apartments and blah blah blah, because That's been my life for the past 3 years. So I will see you guys on the other video, and subscribe if you haven't to. If you haven't to, anyways, if you haven't, please subscribe. Okay, show you girls some love. Anyways, bye. I'm just kidding. Okay, bye.